Yo, what's going on, guys? So today's video is continuation of my Path of the Brave test. In the last video I was doing 50 Path of the Brave level 1 and 50 Path of the Brave level 2, and in today's video I did 50 of level 3 and level 4, so I'm just gonna show you how much currency did I make from it and how much time it took me to do all of them. So there is not that much in terms of strategy. I guess the most important thing is the difference in terms of loot, what you get from level 2, 3 and 4. So from level 3 we can start dropping the Antonius research, which gives you one special skill if you get 12 of them, and from level 4 you straight up just can drop special skills, which you have a list of them in here. And unfortunately right now none of them are actually worth that much. Most of them are just worth 1 elementium. The only one that is worth anything is precise seal conversion, which is worth between 100 and 150 elementium. So everything else is unfortunately not worth anything. Well, I guess 1 elementium if you can sell them. So now I'm just wanna show you. I wanna show you the example of Path of Brave level 4. And in terms of the difficulty, when I was doing level 1 and 2, I had no issues. Everything was just dying instantly. Level 3 was actually very similar, only bosses were dying a little bit slower. So in terms of the time, I was doing level 1 and level 2, 50 of them in 3 hours. Level 3, I did 50 of them in 4 hours, but level 4 was much harder, so it took me 6 hours to do all of them. So that's obviously is gonna be the big difference in terms of profit, is how good build do you have, so how fast can you farm them. So now I don't want to show you the full 10 ways because it's gonna take too much time. I just want to go until the first boss. And in case you're wondering how much DPS I'm doing, right now I have between 250 and 400 million DPS. I'm not too sure how much because now we can't check our DPS on the target dummy, and I did get some few small upgrades, so I'm not too sure. Hopefully I'm gonna get boss in here. And also a big issue with the level 4 is that some of the arenas are actually much worse in terms of the layout. They are much bigger, which means monsters spawn to the sides and you just have to run to the left, to the right. So even if you have like crazy DPS, you're still gonna have to run a decent amount. Like for example in here, monsters can spawn to the left and also to the right. So even if you have like full screen size whirlwind, you have to kill them here, then you have to run to this side, and then this side, so it is still gonna take you a bit longer. Like now you can see I'm like searching for the monsters and waiting for them to spawn. So I'm just gonna finish this wave, and we're gonna move on to the profit. But yeah, you could see already that boss in my previous wave did not die like super fast, and also I was dying quite often, especially to the bosses that have like swords. These monsters very annoying to kill on minion builds. These 3 bosses that have like light abilities and sword abilities, they are very hard for me to kill, so I was dying very often when I was encountering them. So yeah, you can see clearly that like I'm killing these monsters super fast, but because they just spawn like here, then like here, and then so on, it just takes much longer in this layout. Okay, and especially this one, like this one can spawn monsters in here, and then to the top, and then you have to run to the bottom again, and then to the top. So yeah, it's definitely gonna take much longer, even if you have like a very good DPS. So now let's just leave. And let me show you the results. So everything that is in my stash, so stash 1, 2 and 3, I got from level 3, and everything I have in my inventory, well not everything, but most of it, is from the level 4. So for example, these skills are just my own. The only ones that came from level 4 are from this, so from this skill to the bottom. So now let me show you the level 3. So here you can see 40 Elementium, and in case you are wondering, from level 2 I did drop 24 Elementium, so almost double the amount of Elementium. And actually everything else is also very similar. For example, the Flame Sand I did drop around 350, now I dropped 800, so it's also kinda double. In terms of the Embers, I was dropping the most of them around 40, now like 70, 75. So it also kind of just straight up looks like when you're doing level 3 compared to level 2, you straight up just get double the amount of everything. Well, not everything, but a lot of stuff. And here you can see all of the memory fragments. I'm not gonna go over all of them because there's just so many of them. The one important one is I actually was very lucky and I did drop Wheel of Time, which is a card that gives you exquisite box. And this one is worth 210 Elementium. So I decided to show it to you, but I'm not gonna include it in the results because, well, it's just a lucky drop. So yeah, it would be unfair to include it. And I also did get one Restless Ember, and to be honest, I think I got one Restless Ember in every single test. Actually, no, I didn't get one in level 1, but I did get one in level 2 and in level 3. Yes. So here are also the skills. So 3 just a normal skills, and here you can see all of the cards for the special skill. And this is not part of the test. And yeah, I think that's basically everything. And here you can see a few more cards. So now rewards from level 4. So here you can see all of the skills. So level 21s, and there is the selfless and the selfishness. So I only did drop 2 of the special skills, and they are worth 1 Elementium, so nothing too crazy. Here is all of the loot, and obviously from the level 3 I did get 50 Proof of a Brave level 4, but I did use them to get the level 5s, so in the results when I'm gonna show the spreadsheet, obviously I still did include them as profit. But yeah, here you can see actually in terms of loot, now from level 3 to level 4 there is actually not that much difference in terms of the amount of embers and stuff. You can see embers are actually very similar amount, the same amount of fossils, pretty much same amount of flame sand, and I actually got, I think I just got unlucky and I got less flame elementium than I should, only 27. From level 3 I got 42. Maybe here I got a bit more lucky than I should, and here more unlucky. Obviously 50 of them is not that big of a sample size, but still, if you compare everything else, it's very, very similar amount of everything. It's actually surprising how similar it is. Even look at something like Nether Realm Resonance, like it's almost the same thing for Energy Core, almost the same, and the same thing for Elixir of Oblivion. It's actually surprising how similar these amounts are. And I actually this time, from level 3 I got Restless Ember, and this time I got 1 Omnis Ember. So that one was a bit more lucky, I guess. But I didn't get the Wheel of Time fragment. And here, this is not part of the test, only things from here. So here you can see all of the fragments. And I got 59 Antonius Research, and here I got 68 of them. So I guess maybe here I got a little bit more lucky. And obviously I got 50 level 5 keys. Proof of a Brave. Okay, so now let's look at the spreadsheet, which is the most important one. So just as a reminder, I'm gonna show you the results from level 1 and level 2. So from level 1, it was between 35 and 46 Elementium. I did count all of the easy sellable stuff here and then everything in here. So for example, in here, I did not include all of the fragments, and I also did not include the embers, and here I did add like 10 Elementium from all of the embers, and I also did include all of the fragments. Here you can see results from level 2, so pretty much like 10 Elementium more per hour. And now let's look at the level 3, some things from today. So first, the most important thing is now it took me 4 hours instead of 3 hours in here. And the difference in price for the Proof of the Brave, when I was doing level 2, I was paying 1.6 for Proof of the Brave, and I was getting 3.5, so basically 2 Elementium per key. And now I was paying 3.5 for level 3, and level 4 costs 5, so I only was making 1.5, which is still a good amount, but definitely we're gonna make more just from the keys themselves from doing level 2. Now if you look at the fragments, obviously there's much more of them, and I made 322, but that's because Wheel of Time. Now I'm actually gonna remove it, so you can see I only made 112, and if you compare it to this one, it's definitely much more from the memory fragments. So in terms of profit per hour, I made between 58 and 71, depending on how much stuff you are willing to sell. So compared to level 3, basically made like 10 Elementium more per hour, so it's kind of consistent from first one between 36 and 46, here 46 and 59, and here 58 and 71, so it's again around 10 Elementium more, maybe around 15 more, but definitely would be more if I had a better build and I would be able to clear it in 3 hours. Then it would definitely be much more currency. But now, surprisingly, if you look at level 4, you actually can see that our profit goes down. And there is actually multiple reasons why did it go down. First reason, and most important one, is time. If you reduce it to 3 hours, as you can see, it's still actually not that much crazy, and especially if you reduce it to 4 hours, which is the time that it took me to do level 3, it is still actually lower than level 3. Second reason, well, time is actually two parts why time is so high, and one part is just my build, it's not like super great, and second part is, like I said, the arenas are just much bigger, so even if you're gonna have a crazy build, I think it still is gonna take you a longer time than previous ones. So instead of 3 hours, it's probably gonna be like 3.5 or 4 hours. Second reason why profit is not as high is because of prices of level 4 and level 5 keys. So like I said, when I was doing level 3, I was paying 3.5 for level 3 key, and I was making 5, which means I was making 1.5 per key, and now level 4 costs 5, and we are selling level 5 for only 5.5, which means now you only make 0.5 Elementium per key instead of 1.5 or 2 from level 2. So that's definitely much less profit. On top of that, I didn't get any good special skills, so that's just 2 Elementium profit. I did get 1 Omnius Ember, so that was a bit lucky, but I also didn't get any level 21 good skills. I only got 1 that we could sell for 5 Elementium and 1 that could sell for 3, and from level 3 I actually got 1 that can sell for 10, so still a bit more profit in here. But in terms of memory fragments, it is actually the same amount. If you reduce the if you remove the Wheel of Time, you can see it's actually like very similar. So the biggest issue is, like I said, the amount of keys. I mean the price of the keys, so Proof of the Brave, the time, so the difficulty, and also I got a little bit unlucky with Flame Elementium. But I actually think in terms of loot, level 3 and level 4 actually drops a very similar amount of loot. Obviously level 4 is harder, so if you have actually insane build, I would suggest just buying level 3 keys and doing level 3 and level 4. So it's probably both of them are very similar. If you don't have that great build, you probably should just stick with level 2 and level 1. Preferably level 2, because from level 2 you actually make 2 Elementium per key, and from level 1 you don't make that much. But the biggest thing about doing level 3 and level 4 is that they are very good early on in the season. So if in case you are wondering, for example, for next season, if you should be doing Path of the Brave early on, level 3 and level 4 drop the special skills and the level 21 skills, and early on they actually worth a lot. Like I remember these were going for like 10 Elementium plus. so you can make a lot of money. Also, the bases for crafting, so items with item level 85, they drop very often in level 3 and level 4, so you can make a lot of money from them. And also the legendary items. I actually did drop a lot of legendary items from Path of a Brave level 4, but unfortunately right now all of them are not really worth anything. I didn't include them in the results because I didn't really drop anything that is good, but I can definitely tell you that there was much more of them done in level 1 and 2, and early on in the season you probably would make additional money from them. I still don't know how good is level 5. Unfortunately, my build is not good enough to clear them right now. I only can do like 42, maybe 43 waves. I can't do 45 and 40, 44 and 45 yet. So if I am gonna get better gear, then I'm also gonna do that test. But for now, summary is level 1 and level 2 is very good always early on in the season. Later on in the season, if you have not that great of a build, you can just farm them and you can make around 40 elementium per hour. If you have a very good build, doing level 3 looks like is right now probably the best. Level 4 is also still nice if you can clear them much faster. If you don't have that great of a build, you just stick with level 3. And obviously level 5 is probably just gonna be good if you have like super amazing build with like few billions of DPS, but still level 3, 4 and 5 are gonna be much better early on in the season because of the special skills and the level 21 skills. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.